Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video about some Halloween baking treats that I made over the weekend. They're actually not baked, they're really lazy. Me just put some stuff together. One of them was going to be baked, like cookies, but then I was just too lazy and I just decided to make what you're going to see, okay? So I have 5 different treats actually to show you. Here's a little slideshow of them now. And so in that list, we're going to start with a drink. I have this pumpkin juice that is like from Harry Potter pumpkin juice, and I just googled for the recipe and I actually have the link down in the description. You can go down and make your own. But it's just pumpkin in a glass with some apple cider. I drank most of it already. It's really good. It tastes more like just apple juice, but it does taste quite similar to Universal's, which is kind of what that recipe is based on, but it's just pumpkin, apple cider, some spices. You just use a little bit of sugar as well, and I actually used agave syrup because sugar isn't that healthy, and agave syrup is much more healthy and low glycemic, so I used that, and it's really nice. And this is good for after Halloween, obviously. Any time of the year, because pumpkin juice, Harry Potter. So my next recipe is another beverage. This time it's this kind of pumpkin colored Oreo milkshake thing. I don't know what to call it exactly. This I actually made myself, so it's just making like an Oreo milkshake. You get these Oreos, there's these special Trader Joe ones here. They're called JoJo's. Weird. And they look like these cute little pumpkin faces. Then here's the other side. And they have this orange cream. This is what gives especially my inspiration for this recipe, is if I can't tip the milkshake over, you can see it's kind of orangey in through here. The top is definitely these little orange bits from the icing, but the whole base of this is actually food coloring. So you make an Oreo milkshake, you crush up, like for serving 3 of these in a blender, add like 3/4 cup of milk or something like that, crush that together, add a little bit of ice cream, and then a drop of red food coloring and a drop of yellow to make orange. Maybe you got a tiny bit more red just to make it kind of a slightly darker, and then that's kind of what you get. It kind of looks better in real life, but not really. It looks like puke, doesn't it? On the camera, I think it looks like bland puke. In real life, it looks kind of slightly orange puke. At least to get it, you know, matching the Oreo a tiny bit. And then you crush another Oreo on top, make the pieces, and then there you go. You have your Halloween milkshake. And also, not just for milkshakes, but I love these. These are nostalgia. I saw this in Trader Joe's like 2 weeks ago, and there was a whole aisle of them, and I looked at them and I was like, oh my god, I recognize these. These are like from my childhood, from like 10 years ago. I used to eat these a lot. Because we used to live in Santa Cruz like 10 years ago, and we used to go to Trader Joe's a lot. So we'd get a lot of stuff there, and this just gave me nostalgia, because I remember these little guys. These weird pumpkin men cookies, but I remember these, and it gave me nostalgia, so you can just eat them on your own. I'm actually only like 2/3 of the way through this box, and I have another box. But that'll be even better. I can save some for when they run out, you know, after Halloween. Because I'll be mourning Halloween in November, so. Also, I want to take a real quick break from the food stuff. I talk about my makeup and my clothes. I'm wearing quite spooky. I have this skull dress with flower prints on it. It's really cute. I love it. I got it on Poshmark this year. Because I'm into, not just for Halloween, but because I'm into bones. I just love them. The show, the actual body part. That sounds weird if you say body part. Just bones, you know, the skeleton. I love it. And I'm a bones nerd. I know so many of the names. Also, spooky makeup. This is my first attempt at like spooky makeup, and so I actually, not doing a tutorial, but this is actually my mom's. I'm borrowing it. But yeah, this is this Burt's Bees Redwood Forest. It actually looks quite nice. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting. This is like 6:30 right now, so my room is kind of dark. And I have to rely on my room's lighting because I had a lot of stuff to do today, so I couldn't film in natural light, which I really wanted to do. But yeah, hopefully you can see that. And then not just my lips, but I have my eyes. I look kind of weird, but I have the eyeliner, of course, and the little cat eye. I have this silver eyeshadow over my lid, and over the back here is some purple, some deep mineral color that I've wanted to use for a long time, but it's just so dark and I wasn't sure if I could use it, but I think this turned out quite well. I think together it looks kind of odd, but I love the eyeshadow. And then you can see my pimples popping up because they need to pop up all the time. There's always, like last week I was so clear, and then they exploded out of, I'm sorry, that sounds disturbing, but they exploded out of nowhere, honestly. One last thing is the lighting. I'm right here in front of my bookshelf and I decided to spooky it up. And I put this Halloween orangey, it looks red on the camera? Does it look red? If it looks red on the camera, I don't know, but it's this really bright pumpkin orange. It's really nice. Although it's so bright, like literally last night, I decided to watch some spooky videos at night in the dark. I turned all the lights off, turned this on. It was like blazing. It was like 5 Christmas trees all at once, but in orange, which gave the room a disturbing demonic orange glow, which was definitely a great addition to watching spooky videos, I can tell you. I'm doing a lot of diverging. Oh, although, skull, that's important. That's important. Woo! Just added that because I'm spooky. I obviously only added that to the video for right now because it's blocking my alarm and you can't see what time it is and it's a weird green. Okay, so for my next treats that I have, I'm too lazy to show you the pictures like of my hands or whatever, so there's pictures going by that I already showed you. The first one is these little spooky ghost white chocolate shaped things that I made. White chocolate ghosts. I'm not good with stuff talking, so, but yeah, I made those basically. So I just melted white chocolate, I put them in a Ziploc bag, cut the little corner off. Before I did that, I traced on paper ghost shapes, and it took me several times to make a ghost shape. The rest looked like a weird deformed octopus. But I made a little ghost shape with like 3 little bottom ruffles, as if it was like a sheet or whatever. And then I just traced over that. First I traced the line itself, and then I filled it in a little bit, but messily with some white chocolate, and then I used a spoon to smooth it out and to make it actually into a solid mass. And then I did that for all of them. I made like 21 in total, and then I ate one of them because it was deformed. So I have like 20 of them that I made. And then actually you don't need that much white chocolate. I used like 1/3 of a cup, and I didn't even have to use all of that. What was a half cup? Something like that, but I didn't even have to use all of that. I had a lot left over. And I made those little ghosts. And then when they were dry, I used dark chocolate and melted. And again, with the same technique, you put them in the bag, cut the little corner off, make sure a tiny corner, and then you make the eyes, little chocolate eyes. Or also, like I did a couple years ago for another treat, I use mini chocolate chips. If you have mini chocolate chips, that's good too. But those you'd put in once you've put the white chocolate together, so it sticks. That way you don't have to go to the extra effort of like melting more chocolate to stick 2 dry pieces of chocolate together. My next treat that I have is also, it's actually, it's quite simple. It's maybe easier than the ghost one and a lot lazier, honestly. So first we start off with Pocky Sticks, if you know what those are. They're these, you know, Japanese food stick thingies. They're just sticks, and often they're coated with all kinds of different foods and coverings, like there's chocolate, strawberry, green tea, you know, etc. All these flavors, sometimes covered with nuts, you know. So I just use plain chocolate, no bumps or ridges, just plain chocolate. And I used dark chocolate I melted in the microwave. You could use dark chocolate or milk chocolate. I actually used a combination of dark and milk because we were running out of dark, so I had to thin it with a little bit of milk to make sure we would not have too little. And I made little twigs that go on the edge of the broom, the end of a broomstick, where you're sweeping and then also flying through the air. Simple sticks, if anything, try to make them kind of scraggly, kind of twiggy. Don't go overboard, but like a lot of straight lines, but also some like, you know, especially ones that I really like are the ones where they're kind of straight lines and in the end there's this clump of this little bit extra chocolate and it makes it look really twiggy. Like sometimes twigs have those fat little things, they're thin, and then there's like a fat thing that goes up to it. I don't know, there's like bugs that eat into tree branches and they make these fat things, but I don't know what they are. But yeah, whatever, stuff like that, make it kind of twiggly. You dry that. Once those are dry, melt some more chocolate, dark chocolate, and then take the Pocky Sticks. And oftentimes the uncoated part is really long. Cut the uncoated part in half, just break it in half, you can eat a little bit. and then you coat the rest of the stick, and you just, you put chocolate over all of the uncoated part, and then just stick the twigs all around the Pocky stick, and maybe flare them out a tiny bit to the side, especially if you have a lot of straight sort of pieces of chocolate, so that they make a bit more wavy, a bit more three-dimensional image of the witch broom, and then put them all to dry, and then you could go, and you have a nice, cute, simple little thing, and it's not too much work, because honestly a lot of these are like just really lazy hacks, because I'm just too lazy to do real baking. Also, as I was saying, the ghost cookies, those were gonna be with an actual cookie ghost shaped, and then I would have covered those in white chocolate, but I was too lazy to bake, so I just did these. Actually, a couple years ago I used to make for the neighborhood for going trick-or-treating. I would actually make treats to give to our neighbors, like when we're physically walking around, they'd give us candy, I'd give them some food stuff, and I would like take Nutter Butter cookies, coat them in white chocolate, add a little chocolate chip dark eyes, and then that's where that idea came from. I wanted to recreate that this year, but I was too lazy, so you get the white chocolate. Also a little bit of a nostalgia event for you guys. And so one last treat that I have for you guys, which I think you saw on the clip show earlier, but it's the little chocolate treats. They're not cookies. I again for these planned to do the cookies as the background. Guess what happened? So I decided to make chocolate though, but chocolate's good. So I have a dark chocolate back that's been thinned out with a little bit of milk chocolate like I was saying, and then on the top are these dried out little letters that I wrote that spell out Wheeze in brackets. And if you get that reference, then I love you. But if you don't get the reference, it's from BuzzFeed Unsolved, and it's something that Ryan and Shane say a lot. Or they don't say a lot, they wheeze a lot, when you try to laugh, but you also kind of like whisper. It's like a throaty laugh thingy, but it's just fun. So I made these little cookies, and so those I just, again, white chocolate, melted in the microwave. I added some blue food coloring to it, put it in the paper bag, and then I wrote each letter that I traced on paper, and man, that was hard. The first couple ones that I did were pretty good. Then it went downhill from there real fast, from 1 to 100, because my handwriting is terrible. My hand icing writing is even worse. Honestly, it went real messy. But if you can do that, then that's good. But I just, on paper. And actually what I do with the paper, I'm probably confused you. You take a piece of regular paper, and you write down what you're doing, the ghost or the wheeze, and then you take parchment paper, and you put it right under, and the parchment paper is like slightly translucent, so you can see the paper through it, so you don't actually need to write on if you wrote on the parchment paper, that wouldn't be good, because then like there would be, the food picking up the lead and stuff, and it's just easier to draw on regular paper, and you can just see it. I drew with a pen, a black pen, probably better than a pencil. And then turning back to the wheeze, so I did that many times. I let that dry, and then you assemble. So basically you get out a little log of the dark chocolate, make it quite flat, and kind of long to be able to fit the wheeze, and then while it's still wet, take each and unstick the wheeze letters from the parchment paper that you were doing earlier, and stick them into the wet chocolate. That way they stay in place there. And don't wait too long. I waited a bit too long on a couple of them, and they were too hard to put any in, so try to put as many as you can. You could also do that with cookies. I'm not entirely sure how you would stick them if you made cookies. I think you'd have to do the lettering right on the cookie, but that seems difficult to do, honestly, so I don't know. You could try that. I don't have any tips for that, so thank you for watching my video. So Spooky Sunday, it ended yesterday. I'm not sure when this will actually be posted. I'm going to try to post it today, Monday, the 30th, but it may only come up on Tuesday. But Spooky Week ended on Sunday, so check out those videos up there. I have a whole playlist. You can binge them for some more spooky fun. And remember, tomorrow, or today, if it's Tuesday, I'm going to have that project coming up, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I hope you all have a fun, happy Halloween. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye!